Good morning. Thanks for joining us on the Kansas Black Farmers Association podcast.
Good
I'm
morning.
Justin Howard, and today our guest is Diana Collingwood. Good morning,
Good morning,
Diana. How are
everyone.
you?
I'm well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invitation, Justin. It's great
Oh,
to be a guest of the Kansas Black Farmers Association.
we're glad to have you. And Diana, tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey, who you are. I have you down as the assistant commissioner, but I'll let you explain to our viewers exactly who you are and kind of what you do.
Good
So,
morning. I'm Diana Collingwood. As Justin mentioned, I'm currently the Assistant Commissioner of Agriculture for the U.S. Virgin Islands. I'm currently on St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands. My journey here is a bit convoluted, you know. My passion has always been agriculture, the only career I've been involved in. I went to school here in the Virgin Islands, graduated from high school. There's a university here, a land grant university, actually, the University of the Virgin Islands. I attended the university, graduated in 85, being the first female to graduate with a degree, an associate's degree in agriculture. And they gave me a chance. I was 19, and they gave me a chance to teach middle school agriculture. Many of my students were like 17, 16 years old, close to my age. I didn't really know how to teach, but as I know now, teaching is something you do from love and passion, and the desire to empower and educate another person. With agriculture, it teaches everything. It's you're working at the whole student. So when you teach in agriculture, I got the chance to help my middle school students with their math and their science and their language arts and their leadership, and it's just life. So the love and that, I had a lot of success in that area for 5 years, and now some of my students are close to my age and they work in the industry. I've returned here to the VI after 35 years from being away. After teaching here, I actually went on to school. I went to University of Florida, studied ag education and did my master's in ag education and communication. But I did minors in educational leadership and counseling and special education because these are the skills you really need to teach our children. You first have to teach the child their worth, that they're valued. And I think, especially with us minorities, for so many decades, we were told that we weren't good enough, that, we just have this feeling of inadequacy. And with our young people, like Marcus Garvey said, with confidence, half of the battle is won. So if our students lack that confidence, and as an ag educator, I had the opportunity to influence and impact and love students and have them realize their true potential, and that's my mission today as well, just to meet young people and just be the one that they can reach out to for support and guidance and direction. And then to be that one now, you have to actually be that one. You have to set yourself apart and set that example so that someone can look at your profile and choose to want to listen to what you have to impart. And I think as young people or as adults, we have to consider that. And our young people are so different from us. We still have to meet them where they are. So that's how I got here. Pure love and hard work and
yeah,
excellence and high standards. And we
yep.
can do this thing if we are willing to put out the effort. And we are excellent. And just trying to realize my best potential, the best version of me. I'm still working on it, man. Still working on it.
Okay, perfect. I love the answer.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Holmes, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Holmes. Hello, how are you?
Okay, all right, and then we'll pick back up. And I'm glad to hear your passion for particularly the youth, and I'm glad that your journey is going to be valuable for our viewers, and and that kind of brings me into the next point. What does your role entail? Can you kind of speak to your position as the assistant commissioner and kind of what you do?
Yeah, that's a good question, important question. As assistant commissioner, I do everything, anything that's necessary for success. I'm in an environment where we are a little bit behind the curve in agriculture. We have a big need for agriculture, food security. We import close to 95% of our food. We have a beautiful, pristine environment, high heat index, good quality soil. We have some challenges with water and droughts, not because of the lack of water, but the lack of our capacity to retain the water in the ponds and, soil conservation. We don't have a lot of ag professionals. The university program that I mentioned that I graduated from in 85 in agriculture, that program was closed soon after. And while
Mm,
I was out of the territory, I really made efforts to encourage them to revamp the program because it served me so well. It's such an excellent basic associate's degree in agriculture, and it really shaped my career in an excellent way. And I can see it doing the same for other students, but in my role, because of the many challenges, the lack of ag education, my background, by the way, is in agriculture education. So I have taught agriculture for many years. I was the agriculture teacher here on St. Croix at the middle school, and I also taught at Southgate High School in Homestead, Florida. Homestead, Florida is the winter capital of U.S. agriculture. It's South Florida. It's the high school I taught at is the southernmost FFA chapter in the nation, and with the future outlook for agriculture and the need for the use of so much technology, the nanotechnology and robotics and Internet of Things, and I mean, all those things. That age population, although they could still learn those things, it doesn't come naturally to them. We need to engage the next generation in agriculture, but those things, when you think about it, our experience in agriculture has not been a positive one. So, therefore, to engage the next generation, we have to re educate, rethink. It's almost like you need counseling skills. Like, as I mentioned, we've been traumatized. So, we have to really educate our community, our counselors, our principals, our district administrators about the true economic and academic value of agriculture and the potential it has to save us, not only from an economic and educational perspective, but from a health perspective, from a nutrition perspective.
So, so what programs do you have in place to counter this? What are you doing to counter
My,
those perceptions and those stereotypes?
the only thing I know and what the data shows is that we have to start early. Once a child reaches the age of 12, 11, or even 10 now in our society, they are jaded. By the time I mentioned that the children are 10, they can't they can't sweat, they can't get their shoes dirty, they're too fly, they're too everything, and they're disconnected from the naturalness. Agriculture is innate. But once you start early from pre-K, you know, you infusing that into the child for life. This is something they will share with their grandchildren. It becomes natural. And we're not saying that we want every child to go into agriculture and be part of the industry. What we are saying is that we need every eating person, every food consuming creature on this earth who is human, animals too, they need to understand the value of agriculture and how food plays a role in their success, their health, and the health of our environment and everybody health. And that's empowering our people. So it has to start there, because if we don't have that, they're not able to take advantage of the real opportunities in agriculture. Working with the School of Agriculture, looking at scholarships and mentorships. There are USDA programs like the Ag Discovery Program, which is really good for young people at an early age. It's geared towards middle school students who get to go to different universities in the summer. I think it's 6 weeks, and they engage in agriculture on the ground. So those are some of the things. And another thing is helping farmers. For students to want to be into agriculture, they want to see farmers successful. They don't want to see farmers struggling, always driving old trucks, never making money, always wearing old clothes, looking ugly, not kept. They want to be bling. They want to wear cute, sexy skirts and go to work looking fly. And we need to show them that in agriculture, there's a place for everybody. We need the sexy girls too. We need the nerds, the computer geeks. We need the people who love art, the people who love the collect insects, identify stuff, the people who are good in landscape design, the people who are just good in robotics and those video computer games, people who want to come up with new, easier ways to do. The students who want to work so hard, the ones who want to come up with new strategies to make it so we just have to press the button right there, and make things happen. The people who deal with finance and stock markets and all those things, that's agriculture. People who could write those grants. Right now, we have all these historic allocations of funds for agriculture, IRA funding and other ARPA funding and stuff, millions of dollars for conservation strategies. People who want to deal with soil regeneration and have earthworm farms, vermiculture. People who are interested in aquaponics and the quality of water and coastal management and all the just all kind of stuff. People who want to travel the world and understand politics and economics and all those things. We need our young people to think large.
With that being said, Diana, is can you highlight maybe just one program that might kind of lend itself to encouraging the youth or getting them to the place where we need them to be? Is
Well,
there one program that's headed there that
one
you can
thing
highlight
I
for us?
find, one program I think we don't take good enough advantage of, simply because we don't prepare the young people for it enough, early enough, is the beginning farmers and ranchers programs. They have so many opportunities, whether it's loans,
Yes, yes.
opportunities to purchase land, to own farms, monies to operate farms, microloans to support creative things. I mean, it's just so much, to buy equipment. But then we have to teach them the business part, the management part, how to be responsible, be fiscally responsible, how to deal with adversity. Do you know that farming is one of the areas of the most stress for individuals? It's a high stress area because farmers work a lot in isolation and they tend
Yeah,
not to interact with other people. And the young people may change that because they are so interactive with social media, and they can, that's their game, to interact with others, maybe not on a personal level, but on a virtual level. So at least that might be something we can use to change that trend in agriculture. But and this program is just one program. There are multitudes of opportunities in agriculture. There's so much grant funding initiatives, starting a nonprofit and ag education initiatives, training initiatives to train farmers, opportunities to this for farmers to share best practices. But mostly, if we teach the young people how to access funds, how to do grant writing, they can do anything we can do and more if we guide them and mentor them. How
How
to
do we get our farmers signed up?
the beginning farmers and rancher loan programs, right, are through the Farm Service Agency of the USDA. I mean, the USDA has so many different programs. Sometimes the challenge might be too many programs, too many
so
opportunities.
if we had a person who was interested in farming, they had no land, you would recommend that they just walk into the FSA office and then start there, or
No,
kind of walk us through that process.
it doesn't really work like that. Like with everything, and even with grants, you have to show some initiative first. You have to have had some experience, whether it's just from family experiences, some training. We have to teach young people how to document their expertise. And the truth is that if we educate our young people, by the time they're young adults ready to take advantage of these opportunities, they can go in there and be intelligent and be successful.
Got you. Okay. Well, yeah, you said it all, I think, right
You may have to do a part two because you haven't gotten through
there.
any of your questions.
So,
But I strongly suggest a part two, and then get more into some programming aspects and um, how we can really get our farmers engaged and everything. I think you've done a beautiful outline. But what are you thinking, Justin?
Yeah, definitely. We just want to definitely follow up and have Lonnie involved too, because he has a whole different ag business kind of mind that he would lend to the conversation too, and kind of probably be able to get into a little more details, because that's kind of what we're trying to do, is highlight some of the actual programs. That's what my grant is looking to get at, like specific programs. I know we kind of and we love it because it's valuable for all of our members, especially our youth, to kind of think, have that lens, and think like, you know what, I do need to have some initiative and look into this and do some research and have at least an idea of what I want to do before I walk into this office and stuff. But
Yeah.
what we're trying to do is to actually get the some programs or different things that maybe you've worked on, and highlight those specifically. But thank you so much for your time, for your
You're welcome.
enthusiasm, for your passion for our people, for the youth, for agriculture. It's definitely resonates with us, and there's a lot to glean from our conversation. And yeah, so it's gonna go a long way. So
Thank you.
yeah, so I
Thank you for
appreciate your
having me. It's a
time.
pleasure.
Yeah,
All right. Then.
definitely.
See you